Hey Trent Knights! Welcome to the video for the kangaroos this week from May 18th. Here are our targets for the week. In reading, we're going to work on saying words with the long A sound. Did you know that some vowels, some letters have more than one sound? We're going to learn about letter A this week. We're also going to talk about the name and the sound for the letter T. And I'm going to read you a really funny story, one of my favorites about the letter T. In writing, you're going to keep working on that skill of drawing a picture to show your ideas. And in math, we're going to keep going with counting that so you can write and model numbers 0 through 20. So if we go on to the packet this week, I'm going to share my screen and show you the page with magic A and E. So what's going to happen is you're going to learn about the letter A this week. And usually, what do we know A says? Usually A says, ah. But if you add a magic E at the end, it's going to change the letter A's sound. So I have this word here that is also on your page, and let's sound it out together. Let's say the first sound. This is the letter T. T, t, t. App, tap. But if we add on a magic E, you're going to see that instead of saying ah when we see this A, this magic E is going to tap A on the shoulder and say, hey A, say your name. So instead of saying ah, you're going to say A. So let's try it. A. And a little faster. Tape. And you'll notice I'm not saying the sound for E. It's a silent magic E. And let's read it fast. Tape. And you can see on your page here that there's a picture of the tape. We're going to do one more from on this whiteboard here to show you how this could work. So I have the word Sam. Say it with me. Sam. Sam. Now what happens if I add magic E at the end? Now remember, magic E is going to tap A on the shoulder and say your name, A. Say A instead of ah when we read it this time. Same. And we're not going to say a sound when we see that E. It's silent. Same. Same. Now at home, you could play this game too. If you get some words and kind of play around with them and see how you can change it by adding a magical E at the end to make the letter say its name. Now we're going to talk about the letter T. So the name of the letter is T, and the sound it makes is t, t, t. So when you say t, your mouth is open and you can feel a little puff of air come out when you close it just slightly and you say t, t. And I'm kind of putting my tongue towards my teeth. So can you say the name of T? T. And can you say the sound? T. Good. Now, you might have heard this story before. You've been in my class. And it's called The Terrible Tickler. And there are so many words with the T sound in it. So if you're listening at home, I want you to kind of put your thumb up in when you hear a T word. T, the terrible tickler. My dad used to read this to me when I was little, so it's special for me. The whole town of Tombstone remembers the day that the terrible tickler came riding their way. He came down the street with a look keen and steady and said, "Folks, my tickling finger is ready." Now, tickling's terrific and tickling is fun, and you'll all be tickled by the time I'm done. for tickling's my pleasure, my greatest of joys. I think I'll start out with young girls and boys. Did you hear some T words? I heard tickle. Terrible. He first tickled Teddy, then Mike, Fran, and Sue, then Manuel and Mary, and Algernon too. Not one could escape, though they'd run and they'd wriggle. Though each one would get tickled and fall down and giggle. And soon not a boy or a girl could be found, except those who lay laughing on the ground. I've got all the kids. Now it's time for the others, the tickler announced. Next come fathers and mothers. Tickle, 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 tickle. So the terrible tickler went on with his work. He got Nina the plumber and Charlie the clerk. He got Sam the barber and even the mayor, who fell laughing and giggling right out of his chair. And as sure as 5 pennies add up to 1 nickel, there wasn't one grown-up that he didn't tickle. I've tickled the people, but still I'm not through, said the terrible tickler. Now guess what I'll do. Tell your family that's watching with you, who do you think he's gonna tickle next? If you guessed the pets, you were right. Well, he tickled the horses and he tickled the cows and he tickled the cats till they giggled meows. He tickled the pigs and the mules and the dogs and he tickled the chickens and even the frogs. Then he looked all around and said, I'm in a pickle. I'm done and there's nobody left here to tickle. I've tickled them all now, he said with a frown. I guess I'll just have to go find a new town. So he tickled a doll sitting high on a shelf. Then he rode out of town and he tickled himself. And everyone said with a giggle and sigh, oh, that terrible tickler's a mean, rotten guy. And they heard him call back as he giggled with glee, remember the tickle begins with a T. Oh, I hope that funny story helps you remember the sound for T. Now I'm going to share my screen again. And you'll notice, parents, that there are pages in your packet that say priority work. And if it says priority work, I want you to please have your child do it and then text me a picture or send it over email so that I can keep track of what you guys are doing at home. Now we're going to talk about writing, moving right along. And you're going to see your priority work is write and illustrate. That means to draw. What your favorite chore to do at home is and why. And to get you started thinking about this, I decided to write about the other one, which is the opposite. Write and illustrate about what your least favorite chore to do at home is and why. So our goal for our class is we are really working hard to put more details in your picture, to show your ideas, and I'm going to give you a challenge if you're doing really well with that you could go ahead and try to get one of those long A sounds, those words with a long A sound in your writing. So here's a picture that I drew. And can you guess what my least favorite chore is? Here I am. I have something in my hand and I'm standing near a sink with water and bubbles. Did you guess that doing the dishes is my least favorite chore? Oh, yep, look how mad I look and sad when I'm doing that chore. So I took some time and drew some details on this picture. You'll see the plate and the bubbles, the sink, me kind of putting my arm out. Can you try when you're writing about the opposite, which is your favorite chore to do at home, try to add those details in there. And then if you do that, you can also add some words, or you can have your parents or your caregiver, go ahead and write the words you say out loud. So here's what I said. I do not like to wash a plate. Plate. So there's my long A word. And I could tell you, I forgot to write this down, but the other part of that question was, why don't I like it? And I'll tell you, because it seems like at my house, the dishes never stop. We keep eating meals at home and more dishes pile up. So it just kind of feels like a chore that I have to do all the time, and it never gets done all the way. So I hope you have fun picking something that you like to do. That's what you're going to write about. And I'm going to share the screen again. And so you can see up here, there's that priority work. So if you can do all the pages in the packet, that's awesome. But if you don't have time or it's getting too hard, if you just focus on these priority pages, that would be really wonderful. Now we're going to talk about math. And last week, I showed you how to get onto the videos for the math. And I wanted to show you how to log in if you haven't done that yet. So parents, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the East Valley website page. And then you're going to click on Families. And then you're going to go to Family Math Resources, Kindergarten Resources. And so you click on that, or whatever grade level your child is in. And then if you click on this Think Central, that's going to take you to the login page for the videos that I showed you last week. Now there's also some other really cool website links for other math activities if you want more. But if you wanted to just try the lessons that we're assigning online, there's that little video that teaches the kids how to do it. There's some online practice pages that can get turned in. That's all here. So what you do is you click on Think Central, and it's going to prompt you to sign in. Now you can see that I'm signed in there, but what you're going to do is you're going to type in your child's email address, and then the password is their 6-digit student ID number. So if you need help getting either of those two pieces of information, just email or text me and I will send it to you. So this week I'm not going to show you a video, but I am going to invite a special guest to play a game with me that I saw in a Zoom meeting this week. It was really fun, and if you like it, you could play it with your family at home. This is my son, Desmond. Say hi, Desmond.
Hello.
And he's going to help me play this game. We are going to start by counting the numbers 1 through 20, and then we'll play the game. Are you ready? Count with us. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, are you ready for the game?
Yes.
So here's how you play. I'm going to think of a number. There's the number 4. That's my 2-year-old Logan down there. So I'm going to think of one of the numbers 1 through 20, and Desmond's going to guess my number. So, okay, I've got it in my head. And now, Desmond, what do you think my number is?
20.
Ooh, good guess. It's not 20. Try another number.
Is it lower?
It is lower than 20.
17.
That's a great guess. It's not 17, but it is lower than 17. So I'm going to cross out the numbers that are low or higher than 17 because my number is lower.
12.
Oh, awesome guess. It's not 12. It is lower than 12. So there goes some of my numbers there.
How about 8?
Great guess. It's not 8. It is higher than 8. Ooh, that took out a lot of numbers. I think, Desmond, you're getting closer to my number.
10.
You got it! Ding, 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 ding. It is 10. So if you want to play Guess My Number with your family, all you have to do is write down the numbers 1 through 20. And you at home, the student, I'd like you to write it so you can practice writing. And then you can play it, and your parent can cross out the numbers that are higher or lower than your number, and it'll help you guess. So I'm going to say goodbye to our special guest, Desmond. Bye.
Thank you.
And thank you. And then the last thing we're going to do today is I'm going to share my screen, and you can see I have my other son, Logan, with me. Okay. So if I get back to the pages that we were working on, the priority work page for math is, if you scroll a little bit further down, it's right here, the first one, page 13 in your packet. You're going to be counting the numbers and writing it down, and it goes all the way up to 20 this week. So I hope our number game helped you. I hope you have an awesome week at home, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.